Welcome to All Pro Football Data. My name is Jim Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas. We're going to be looking at his production profile to kind of see how he shakes out as an NFL prospect. Worthy ran a personal best 10.55 in the 100-meter dash as a sophomore in high school, which is pretty impressive, which also means he might do pretty well in the 40-yard dash when the combine comes around. But what did he look like in terms of his production at Texas? These are questions that we're going to try to answer today. So looking at offensive market share scores, offensive market share takes into account raw statistics that are then divided by the team total to give you a market share number. So for example, if a wide receiver had 1,000 yards receiving and an offense that had 4,000 total passing yards, then that wide receiver had 25% market share. What you do is you take that number, you compare it to every single wide receiver prospect that's come out in the NFL draft over a set time period, and that gives you a percentile score, which gives you offensive market share data. And based on those numbers, he did fairly well. Xavier had an 89 percentile receiving yardage market share production score, 80 percentile in terms of total offensive market share, which is basically the team total yardage, including rushing yardage. And then touchdown market share was in the 80 percentile for him. So these are all solid numbers for him. They're easily within the All-Pro, not really the All-Pro averages, but definitely in the Pro Bowl averages at the position and the starter averages at the position for him. So these are good numbers to have for him. Moving on to efficiency scores at the wide receiver position. Efficiency takes a look at yards per touch and also touchdowns per touch. So this kind of looks at how efficient were they with the football in their hands. When the ball was in their hands, did good things happen? And when you look at his efficiency scores, he was pretty decent as well. His touchdown percentage was very, very high, and his yards per reception was also in the 70 percentile. So these are good numbers to hit in terms of efficiency for Xavier Worthy. Looking at adjusted production score, so this is another metric to look at. Takes a look at their age, strength of competition, and strength of team. So this kind of graphic kind of shows you how I get these numbers and the differences between the MSA rating and the PASS rating. And looking at adjusted production, Worthy hit 90 plus percentile in terms of his age score, 90 plus percentile in terms of his MSA rating, and 90 plus percentile in terms of his pass rating. Fantastic numbers for him. This is also out of 3,710 wide receivers since the 1969 NFL draft class. Just fantastic numbers to hit for him overall. Looking at some comparisons for him, these are the wide receivers that tested similar to him based on his overall production data. In terms of the comparisons, he tested similar to Tim McGee, Brashard Perriman, and N'Keal Harry, Kevin White. Those might kind of get you a little, but remember, wide receiver is one of those positions where there are a lot of busts. There's a lot of wide receivers who don't quite live up to expectations, if you will. So that's kind of the main concern with Worthy. But it's not a bad group to be in, but it's not exactly the best, considering a lot of these are Big 12 wide receivers. Moving on to his outlook, I would say Worthy profiles as an all-pro to starter based on his production profile. Worthy's production dipped from his peak in 2021, which is a bit of a red flag. However, the overall package of Worthy makes him a candidate for a top 5 to 10 wide receiver status in this year's particular draft class. I think there's still some more stuff to be unpacked with him because he was extremely productive his first year, and then he kind of tailed off a little bit as time went on, and that's going to be something to kind of look at and evaluate. Is what happened. He made up a huge percentage of the offense the first time he was at Texas, and then he kind of tapered off a little bit. So those will be some concerns to kind of look at. Can't really verify much from it yet because I haven't done those types of tests in the data yet, but that's Xavier Worthy in a nutshell. I think his overall data is great. I think athletic testing will be very important. The film will be very important, but I think he's a great all-around prospect based on his data. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Jim Coburn. You can check out my other work at Geometrics on X or Twitter, and you can also check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/jcoburn, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!